Yeah, so here we go again. This is the obligatory after shopping solo therapy session, I guess. Um, I actually spent quite a lot of money today. I spent almost $70, which, with my current shopping cycle of approximately 6 days, is more than a tenner per day. And though I only just spent yesterday, I believe it was, talking about the dangers of quality of life improvements, I did do a quality of life improvement, which is I got myself a crate of some drinks, just because it's nice to come home and open up a cold one. Surprise, it's not beer. I do not drink beer. It's Spezi, which is basically cola mixed with lemonade, orangeade. Um, Today's drink is a cheapo smoothie mixed drink. It's green malty juice. It's got pictures of apples, grapes, lime, pineapple, and kiwi on the bottle. So, nah. Guess that's what's supposed to be in it, but it's probably also some other stuff. That's the thing, so who knows. Time is currently 21 to 8. It has been a busy day. Had uni starting at 10. Yesterday night, Prof sent a message via Teams saying, can we only start 10? And the joke is, though, we started an hour later than planned. I was actually late. I was early enough to be able to tell everyone well ahead of time I'm going to be late. And it turns out, luckily, they weren't waiting for me. So I'm very happy about that. But I really don't like the idea of making people wait. Just because surprise time is one of the things you can't get more of. And I don't like wasting people's time. In this case, it turns out I did not waste it. They were able to give the prof, that is, some guidance to some peers. Some much needed guidance in regards to the thesis, so yay. And good news is I also did not need the guidance, so I did not miss out on much. I was so stressed, I guess, that on my way from where I ended up parking, walking to uni, I walked past 3 adequate parking spots. One I hadn't realised was a parking spot in those hours, but it's a parking spot until 1300, and I was going to leave at approximately 12, so that worked out. Well, it would have worked out. I now know for future reference, my go-to preferred parking spot is currently out of order due to roadworks. Surprise. It's just the way it is. They'll be over eventually, and then people might reconsider, and it might become the regular parking spot for a lot of people, which means I might lose a privilege. And again, by then, odds are I'm not going to have to park there no more, because, hell, this is Germany. Roadworks aren't going to last a week. They probably already last more than a week. Who knows? Yesterday was a long day. When did I talk to myself? Right, I talked to myself after uni before going to T-Joint. Already told you about the lawyer thing. Deciding not to sue retirement insurance for disability because I'm being reassessed in 2 years anyways. I had a really good time at the T-Joint. I had a Sencha Horticha, which is a roasted green tea, and a matcha cream cake for a total of $9. I was able to afford it. Now I'm out of liquid cash, so meh. How do I go shopping, you might wonder? Me having just said I'm out of liquid cash, out of fluidity. Well, the thing is, shopping I pay by card, but for small businesses such as the T-Joint, I prefer not to, because, surprise, I have to pay minimum 50 cents or whatever, and a percentage on top of what you pay, and it's just not cool, you know. We have the regular fiat currency of the euro. Surprise, Germany, heart of the eurozone, basically. Well, heart of Europe, which a lot of countries are part of the eurozone as well. Of Denmark isn't, so Germany would not be the heart. Sweden isn't, but you get the point. So why not use that? You know. and I like things, and hell, I got my wallet that's only for notes, and I keep change in my jacket pocket. I've probably still got €3 or €4 of change at this time. Still waiting on the money from the government. The government. If I haven't received it by Friday, I will have to call them, tell them I'm starting to need it, because I am set for next month's bill and rent, but only just, and I'm really have to look out with grocery shopping, not like I did today, and buy a crate of drink, It costs $15 plus deposit, so almost $20 basically gone. But that should last me more than a week, so hopefully that's not going to become a weekly thing. And quality of life improvements are dangerous. I have had the privilege of buying crates of drinks in the past, so I guess it's a quality of life improvement that I have been able to do without for a significant amount of time, but still, don't got to challenge life like that. Didn't do much in uni, looking like the prof is very chill about not giving us homework or so. And they'll also be chill with me not showing up on the last appointment, because during our thesis time, I'll be bloody busy writing my thesis, or worrying about writing it anyways. Don't got to write it, just got to worry about writing it to justify not coming, I guess. So that's going to be a chill one. After that, I went to my former place of internship to continue doing inventory. And an external contractor who is there on a regular basis actually did a significant part of the footwork for inventory, because I'm doing it for free, I'm doing it unpaid, I can't take money because of the government. I'd have to declare it, not worth the money. The hassle makes the money not worth enough. Though money is really nice and you can buy things with it. In this case, my life energy of declaring it is worth more for me. So, because I'm not taking money, I'm not doing all the footwork. The regular people got to do that when they've got time. Currently they do. So now inventory is close to done, which is nice, I guess. The only thing is, after, I won't have a specific reason to show up there, but I'll keep in touch and just show up on the regular anyways, because I can. And if they don't need a helping hand, I can either help, or if they don't need a helping hand, I can distract them. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Yesterday I went. And yesterday night I helped some friends move some things. They given me diesel money, which put me in a spot where I actually didn't lose money with tanking those 20 litres the other day, which is quite nice. It covered more than the diesel what they given me. Then again, there is wear on the car and so on, and I'm gonna have to buy new tyres for minimum $250 sometime soon. And all of that is what diesel money is also covering, obviously. So in reality, I'm using it for diesel for driving around, but then I'm paying all the repairs and maintenance on the car. Funny how that works. Oh, and insurance. That's going to be a fun one later this year, because I will have to pay insurance before I get my first paycheck. Oh, that's going to be a tight one. Fuck me. That's like next to $1,000. Bloody hell. Money make the world go round. There's a silent power with a big sound. Weather today is not too unpleasant. It's a bit warm, bit few clouds. There's stripy cloud coverage, but most of the sky is not covered. I just turned on the ignition. In a moment I'll be able to tell you what the temperature is. Temperature is 25 degrees centigrade in the shade. Humidity feels about halfish. The car's starting to get to the point where it's saying, I would want a service please, which means oil plug, filter and oil, and disposal of the old, which you get when buying the new. And while I'm at it, I might as well do a new air filter and a new diesel filter. Then again, future Ben problem, because currently I cannot afford any of those things. The moment I can, I will afford them, which means I won't be able to afford things for very long once I get the money. But that's just the disadvantage of having a car. I mean, there's a reason I'm getting tax benefits once I have an income. It's because I'm hella limited. I mean, these days I dare not to do public transport. And it's not very much by choice. I mean, I once was able to, not that long ago. You can watch some of the early sessions from me talking about that. But these days I just deemed I don't want to say it, but I'll say it anyways. My comfort, or the lack of discomfort, which more metered, I guess. The lack of discomfort is worth the money to me these days, where I do not do public transport just because it's too uncomfortable, to the point of being painful, I guess. At least in the figurative sense, perhaps even in the literal sense. So I haven't done public transport in quite a while. Like bloody hell. In the past couple and a half years, I'd done prox 50-60 grand on the car, which is quite a lot driving if you think about it, and probably half of that is town driving, so that's quite a lot. Today's fancy snack of choice I did not have to buy. It was given to me by a friend. It's a Koro Bio Nut Butter Bar. Peanut. It's all vegan, so even though it got butter in the name, it's most certainly not got butter in it. Which I guess is a funny thing, because when I hear butter, I think of a product of cow milk, but still. I quite like that, actually. I thought it was going to be rather sweet, but it's just a pleasant level of sweet, so that's not too bad. Wow, I think I could get used to this. It's because I didn't buy it. I don't know what it costs, so it probably cost an arm and a leg, to be fair. Once I'm in a more stable economical situation, I might have to look into buying more of these. Then again, it might just taste good because it didn't cost nothing. Because though that don't cause taste by itself, it'd probably help. Because you don't got to think, oh no, more money, that's gone out the window, you know. Well, this is more money gone out the window. It costs like $1.50 or $2. Not cheap. Considering the ingredients are apple juice, pineapple juice, kiwi juice, grape juice, lime juice. This is actually all juice, so that's quite nice. I'm really happy with how well I'm managing doing the inventory at my former place of internship. I've never done anything like it before, but my brain just worked for it. It's figure out a system, make it as foolproof as possible, the system that is, and then execute it. But to be fair, there isn't enough stuff, and that's not because there is too little stuff, but it's because I'd rather figure it out rather well and get to know all the complexities of the system. But there isn't enough stuff for me to actually get bored of it. It's just very little and a lot of different things. Things that are unique is the main thing, but then there's things that are unique that you cannot load uniquely because, surprise, they don't have a code. And I have, in the context of this inventory, on multiple occasions, said, we aren't doing this inventory, it's beyond the scope of this, because, I mean, I'm upholding the status quo, but I'm not improving it at this time. Don't got the time to invest, don't got the capacity to invest. Sure, I'll be working there in 7 months' time when the next inventory be due. I'll gladly implement those things then, you know. Funny how that worked, really. While I was there, because I was bored and I was wondering how much dirt I could find, I decided I'd clear a rail of door, big loading bay doors. They have like 6 segments and 1/2 is 3 segments. So there's 3 regular doors width. And I clean it proper. So first broom, then brush, and after that a vacuum cleaner. And I actually got a lot of dirt out there, to the point where we've now agreed they'll get some cement whenever there's the capacity to. I'll perhaps, only once I work there, maybe before, who knows, mix up some cement with some sand, some fine aggregate, and cement that, concrete that. It's not really concrete because we're missing the rough aggregate, but it's not a big enough hole for much rough aggregate, so it's not really worth it, you know. Jokingly, I did say, oh, if I vacuum this too much, a building will collapse, because it's surprising. Like, there's now an air gap under the door, like light leaks coming through, which is, I guess, why they don't mind me cementing it, and I'm doing it for free. Then again, in hopes of employment, to the point where they'll be dependent on employing me. If they choose not to, it's fair enough. Someone else will pay me, you know. I don't mind. I mean, I'd much prefer to be in an environment I am familiar with, but I'm not going to take significantly less pay than elsewhere just because I'm familiar with the environment. That's paying a price permanently for short-term comfort. So I hope they make the right offer when the time comes. I hope they'll be up for negotiating a contract, because I've never done it before, but I'm certainly going to try. We'll see how that will work. Because at the end of the day, I'm not looking to change employers all the time, though it might be more economical. I'd rather get pay raises than have to change employer, you know. The hope is they'd be able to match other employers' offers. Because, I mean, hell, the comfort of working in the same company is quite nice, but more purchasing power is really nice as well. Surprise. Money don't make you happy, but it certainly make it easier. At least having a good time, that is, if not happy. So I'm really hoping they'll make a decent offer when the time comes. I don't know. Good news is I know some of them also know, basically, as long as I'm anywhere near the market rate, I'm a good deal. I know some of the people working there know that, so I'm hoping I'd get a solid market rate offer and they're up for pay rises in future. Funny how that works, I guess. It's just I do a good job, and that's even though I aim for mediocrity, which is kind of horrendous, I guess. The potential I'm wasting by aiming low. But by aiming low, odds are I won't disappoint myself. I'll meet the expectations I set. If you aim to hit the side of a barn and you stood next to the barn, odds are you'll hit, you know. One quote that came up yesterday is just a thing I said, but another person, a friend, actually decided it was very quotable, so I think I might as well say it, is people saying I'm stupid for obeying the rules. If I'm so stupid, why can I obey the rules and you cannot? It's just simple instructions. Which I guess puts a problem I see with this society in view. Earlier today it came up, not going to say which context, but people said, oh, you can't just be driving the speed limit. And I had to explain them, it's a limit. It's supposed to be the upper bound of the speed. And understanding the general consensus and the cultural consensus is not in line with that, but that's what limits are for. Yes, there is tolerances, both in the design and layout of speed limits, as in the measuring and enforcement of speed limits, at least here. I believe in Switzerland they actually have very low tolerances for enforcement. But still, those tolerances are there for a reason. I do occasionally go above the speed limit without worries, because if someone's merging into my lane and they're on my height, I'd rather be out of the way. So either I brake, which I don't always want to do because someone's run up my arse, I don't want them to run into my arse, or I just go 5 over, 10 over for a few meters and then get back down to normal speed. Or if I have to merge because my lane is closing, you've got to match other traffic speed. You can't just merge with a lot less speed. That's why the tolerances are there, because sometimes you have to be dynamic in movement. You can't have constant speed going all the time, because some people can't drive corners. Hell, earlier I had a car in front of me hit the brakes in the corner, not for any reason, just because it was a corner. And that was an electric car, and he weren't even going the speed limit. So he got loads of torque. The road have camber, so it's tilted because it's a corner, to the point where with physics you are in benefit if you accelerate, because you're being pressed into the road. And still there's people who don't get it. Like, come on. And this person weren't younger than me, I can say that with certainty. Probably double my age, maybe triple, who knows. But if I've understood it, it can't be that hard to understand, come on. I'm the only brain I can look into, so I understand what I expect. Then again, reality is, I am somewhere near the median, I guess, of intellect. Which would mean approx half the people would be less bright than I am, which I just think is crazy to believe, because I am so ridiculously behind in some cases. I surprise myself. Don't get it, you know. It's like, come on, people. I am really starting to get to the point where I really need money. I did have a bit of cash come through, child support and pocket money. Because yes, I, a grown 25-year-old, receive pocket money, because I'm still a student, and I'll gladly take it. Thank you very much for the person giving it to me. Surprise, you know who you are. It bring me to the point where I believe I can pay next month's rent and bills without having to worry. And I'd be very surprised if I don't got government money by next month. And even if I don't, I should still make it into the beginning of the month at least. So well, that's good enough, you know. That is with the debt I already have. Yesterday I did smoke quite a lot. Then again, I was up quite late. I wasn't up that late. I went to bed at like 11 p.m. Couldn't sleep till like 3 in the a.m. though. That would be today, not yesterday, but still. Yesterday's waking phase. I thought initially that might have been the reason I kind of slept in a bit today. Was late to uni. But then I had a look at my sleep data on the watch. Well, from the watch on the phone. There we go, that's a thumbnail. And it turns out I actually awoke on time. And having seen the data, I did remember. It was just I fell asleep again, which reminds me I'll still have to adjust the waking time of my light alarm, because it turned back off at 10 to 9 in the AM, which at times is too early. I'll actually try that now. Hey Siri, remind me, change alarm. There we go. That'll work. Hope I didn't trigger all of your voice assistants there. If I did, you're all in the same ecosystem. Surprise. It's just the ecosystem that offer a watch and that work, and I got the first phone for free, so I got into it for free. And now I'm stuck in it. I've actually wondered about that recently, is for documenting my cigarette consumption and so on. That reminds me, I don't think I've had a smoke since I started this, so I might as well now. I use Apple's Shortcuts app, which is basically just programming macros with a visual linear coding layout thing. And if I had Android, I could do way more. But I'd have to learn the programming for that, which would most certainly happen on a computer or typing on the phone. Because I don't think there is good visual coding for such things. And again, these days there's probably Node programs where you can do visual non-linear coding. Who knows? I don't, that's for sure. I did actually give in, and I bought some more showering soap at the shops today, because I still had one portion left. But even if I were to get government money today, by the time I get an order, which I'd have to wait for the money to order for in the first place, I'd have to need more, which means I actually spent $1.25 on buying some more showering soap today. I only bought 1 unit of packing, which is an odd thing I've never done before, I think. Funny how that works, I don't know. Apparently I can do it. And it's kind of odd because I'm still below my safe margin of stock now. I have 1 and a bit. And 1 is by far too little. Hell, if I fall ill, I'll be out, you know. Just for a week. Fall ill for a week. And I'll be run out of soap. Probably because I won't shower more from it, but still. Update on the plants. My 2 Cannabis plants. They're both doing quite well. They both have non-sapling leaves now, at least 2, and one of them has a biaxial unit of leaves already, whereas the other is still monoaxial. So axes of symmetry, that would be. I'm starting to wonder what I'll do once the plant outgrow the box, if I don't have the capacity to put a box in my shower by then. Well, in my bathtub shower, just on the side of it, because why not? Or upside down above it, same difference. But that's a bridge I'll have to cross when I get there. I think I've still got a few weeks before then. And because the current plants I'm growing are just feminized, not automatic, I don't actually got to worry about them flowering whenever they like. They will flower when I tell them to. Which means I have been wondering on whether I should perhaps consider the option of just having them flower very early, harvesting very little, because the only reason I'm growing them is for proof of concept, because I can. I feel I must. Previous session before, you'll find it if you want to. Thank you very much for watching all the way this far, by the way. Thus far, there we go. And I don't really care about a harvest, I guess. A bit of a funny way of saying it, but not too fussed about it. Which have made me wonder, well, once they reach the top size of the box, the plants I currently have, I could either crop the tops so they go into the width. It's my understanding how it works anyways. Or I can just reset my timer so it's only 12 hours of daylight per day. Well, 12 hours of grow light per day. And they start flaring. Like, meh, you know. Just this now, with me reaching over here, this was my watch telling me, has only got 10% battery remaining. Which is nuts. It's actually not as empty, but, well, not quite. It's still got a bit of capacity left. It'll get me home, only just. Today, where I'm parked here, it's the same road as usual, after shopping, that is. But interestingly enough, today, for a change, I've actually parked in between two lots of containers, because there's surprisingly many containers parked on this road today. Skips, that is, containers. Not 20 foot or 40 foot, but skip containers. Don't know what way they're measured. They're probably measured in ton or cubic meter, I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say they're probably about 7 cubic meters. I don't actually know. One of them actually have a wind-on cover, so that's fancy. Guess that might actually be a standard for some urban environments, I'm not sure. But, oh well. We are starting to get a light breeze, which I quite like, to the point where I'm going to turn on the ignition and open up the window further. And perhaps the other side as well, because today we have very little traffic. There we go. You can actually see the breeze with smoke flowing. Surprise! I still have to write a brief on my thesis subject. Once I've written that, I'll send it to my proposed supervisor, together with the form they have to fill out to become my supervisor, and the form they have to fill out for me to be allowed an external supervisor. Because those do request some personal data which I do not have of theirs, such as their address, their legal names, and their legal qualifications, academic degrees, that is. But I'm confident I'll manage that in time. Today I actually got to meet the person responsible for approving all those things for the first time, because they're new in the uni, that is. It was alright, you know, they were rather busy, but I introduced myself, so they now have a face to the name. It's not going to do no harm. Today's prof had actually heard of me having disability accommodation. They are the first prof to have heard of it ever. Well, the first tutor. And I do not know of any other profs, that is. Funny how that works. Still, though it's been granted, they are not realising my disability accommodation. And I think at this point I'll just have to go the legal way, and I'm not going to get it no more. It's too late for me. But perhaps the next disabled person that come along got a chance of having their rights respected. Honoured, whatever you want to say. Whatever I want to say, whatever you want to hear. There we go. Which is, I guess, a funny thing, but if everyone act this way, we don't got to worry about our rights. I mean, the very same uni I've told several people on several instances, you can use singular they. It's solve a problem with he, she, they, whatever. Just use singular they. You don't have to gender everything. And they actually had a hard time doing that, and they're still not doing it, so meh. Perhaps it's just a cultural thing, and cultures take too long to change. For any one student to change it, even if they do a bachelor's and then a master's, they aren't going to be at the place for more than 6 years. And that's just not enough for cultural change, I guess. Funny how that works. I hope where you do, whatever you do not need a cultural change to be comfortable and accepted as you are. I hope you accept yourself, love yourselves. Have a nice day. I'll see you around. Cheerio.